Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Anaridis Rodriguez. I'm sure kids weren't complaining.
No, in fact, they were smiling and cheering, I think.
We can finally say goodbye to what's left of Hermine today, so we're cheering about that, but there's a wind and flood threat that's increasing in the Midwest this morning.
Yes, we've got a lot of moisture out there. For Wednesday morning, as we watch a lot of moisture feeding into our storm system tracking in through the upper Midwest. Now, this isn't moving east terribly fast, which has been part of the problem, that we just keep regenerating showers and storms. Right now, a wave of low pressure moving along our front, and that's helping enhance the storm threat. The jet stream energy right here, like it has been for the past 3 days, still in this area. And we're getting a moisture tap today from the tropical Pacific, from Newton, a tropical storm now, but was a hurricane. Actually, some of that moisture getting all the way up here into parts of Iowa and Wisconsin, where we've got a couple of flash flood warnings. Flash flood watches remain in effect. Flash flood watches through this morning, flood watches through this evening across this area. So you can see everywhere painted in green is where there's a concern for flooding. Very high amounts of precipitable water in the atmosphere, meaning when it rains, it's got the chance to rain maybe 1 to 2+ inches in a short period of time, and that could cause some flash flooding. We take you through Wednesday and Thursday, and you'll see some storms move through Chicago, maybe by tonight, St. Louis as well. Detroit will get some storms as well. When we look at the amounts of rain, it could be most significant just out ahead of our front that we're tracking right now, and then a little bit further to the south where we get more of that moisture tap back into parts of Kansas, into Missouri, and into central Illinois. 2 to 3 inches of rain, and if that falls in a short window, that could cause some flash flooding concerns. Des Moines, you're included in that. Storms today, storms tonight, and then we dry out with temperatures into the mid-80s for Thursday as well. So let's take a look at Newton. Now a tropical storm as of the latest advisory that just came in. So we've got the winds at 70 miles per hour moving to the north. And one thing I noticed as it made the second landfall is, really started to fall apart. As you can imagine, it spent some time with a very warm Gulf of Mexico, but now interacting with land. And we do expect that weakening trend to continue. There is a chance, though, as it continues that northward trek and makes it a little more of a northeasterly trek into Arizona, it could hold its status as a tropical storm. If it does so, there's only been 4 others in history that have made landfall. The most recent, 1997, which is Tropical Storm Nora. So it happens. It just doesn't happen very often. They're ready for it here. The sandbags they were working on yesterday. The flood watches are up, hopefully to warn people about the concern for big rain in a short period of time. We average a little over 8 inches a year in Tucson, and there's a chance you could get 3 to 4 inches of rain. That would be half your yearly total with just one day if we end up getting that much. And the potential is there in isolated spots. We'll see that moisture getting into parts of New Mexico by tonight, and already seeing a moisture connection actually into parts of West Texas and right up across the plains. Thursday's forecast, just scattered showers and storms right across this area. So let's go ahead and we'll show you some of those forecasts for how much rainfall. Again, mention the chance that we could see more than 2 to 3 or even 3 to 5 inches of rain. That's these areas in yellow right here, the bigger amounts. Again, Tucson only gets on average about 8 1/4 inches of rain per year. So this would be about half of that if we end up getting these bigger totals. Let's check in with Anaridis.
The ISS on September 23rd. Jeff Williams tweeting out that he is going to miss the view the most.
I bet 2,752 sunrises.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. I love sunrise, one of my favorite parts of the day. So we'll get you started as you wake up this morning, getting ready for sunrise out here. No, it's still dark in Philly, but got to get up early. Those buses come early. Today we're starting with temperatures in the 70s. We are going to be looking for a pretty nice day today, but warming up and getting hot in Philadelphia and all of the Northeast. So today, heading to 90 in Philadelphia. The real heat wave starts today once we hit 90 and we see this long stretch. We are going to be looking for temperatures really warming up into the mid-90s midweek. First day of school here in Philadelphia, and we are looking at 90 today, but then 94 with the heat index closer to 100 by tomorrow. Let's talk about this heat wave building. Hermine is gone. Well, it's still out there, but it's no longer getting advisories on it, and it's really weakened tremendously and not causing a lot of impacts. So while we have some clouds to start our day, we're going to be able to warm up today as this big ridge of high pressure takes over and really takes over by tomorrow right through the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Temperatures today 93 in D.C. Temperatures tomorrow, while this is 10 degrees above average, go even higher above average. We're heading up to 96 degrees in D.C., 89 in New York City. There'll be a heat index out here that adds at least 5, if not close to 10 degrees coming up here as we continue to watch this warm forecast. forecast. More in your weekend on this coming up in the 90s. Yes, the heat is on, and we've been enjoying some days with relatively lower humidity across the south. Those dew points in the 50s and 60s. That's going to start changing, guys, so get ready for it. We will see those dew points start to go up, especially anywhere you have a southerly wind. So keep watch on your wind direction. That will tell you how your afternoon is going to fare, if it's going to be a little more humid out there today. Going to 96 in Nashville, 93 in Atlanta, lots of 90s all throughout the south and east. Could see a couple of showers out there today, mainly into South Florida. Otherwise, anything else will be very hit or miss, but we stay in the 90s right through tomorrow. Let's check in with other new weather developments.
We head to the Pacific
Wednesday and on a short work week. It's nice, right? We're day 2 of some of you for back to work this week, and it's already midweek looking at the weekend. Today, watching a front with rain, in fact, big rain-making potential from Iowa into Wisconsin. By tonight, Chicago, you could see some of those storms. You're hoping it might break your heat a little bit in Detroit, because today is going to be a very oppressively hot day with it feels like getting up to near 100. It will, as the front comes in tomorrow, bring some showers, bring some storms, Detroit, Chicago, overnight tonight, but then behind it, some cooler weather. Friday, you can see things don't move along. We're sort of stuck in the pattern, but it's not as hot as it's been. Temperatures now 78 in Chicago as opposed to low 90s. We trade and we get those 90s in the Northeast. You saw that in New York City on Friday, 91. Now Saturday, looking ahead to everything going on, college football is on. I know you're all watching for your favorite games and the forecast. Thunderstorms out there from parts of Michigan, Indiana, right back into parts of Texas. We will see the risk of thunderstorms moving east but weakening by Sunday. Well, up next, we're going to check travel, look at the road. It's about 30 minutes past the hour. Thanks for staying with us on AMHQ Early. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Anaridis Rodriguez. It may be the first week of September, and you're probably already thinking about fall, but summer temperatures and summer storms will be the main stories this week, even though we are technically in meteorological fall.
Yes, we are. For record-keeping purposes, fall is on.
20 minutes before the top of the hour, before you grab the keys and head out the door in places like northern Iowa. It must be very early in the morning, but we know our truckers travel cross city. It's raining heavy at times over there.
Especially northern Iowa this morning. Iowa City, Des Moines, potential out there for flash flooding. Some flood watches are up. So if you're traveling Interstate 80, if you're traveling I-35, I want to show you where we need to be careful. You can see right now in Iowa City, we're okay. And even this view from Des Moines doesn't look that bad, but there's some rain in the area.
Yeah, if you're traveling up north, pockets of air lower than the speed limit. All right, a different type of battle will take shape at Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend. Take a look at this time lapse. This is pretty cool. This is the first time that they're doing this. The racetrack has been transformed into a football field for Saturday's Tennessee-Virginia Tech showdown. It's expected to break college football's all-time attendance record with a seating capacity of 150,000 people. And as we kick off football season, we all know weather affects the play on the field, but what about the impact off the field? Business weather analyst Paul Walsh explains.
My Penn State Indy Lions going to take on Pittsburgh for the first time in 16 years. That rivalry is back together, so we'll get you into that weekend forecast, that Saturday forecast. But first, we got to get there, and we are watching a front. The same system really has been with us now for 2 days. The jet stream actually is what's been with us. We've seen some changes to the front. There's a wave of low pressure along the front right now that we will track, and it will slowly move to the east and to the south. So Kansas City and St. Louis, we get into a more pronounced area of thunderstorms getting into Thursday. By Friday, there could be severe weather right across this area. Things are not moving east very quickly. You see how much it warms up in the east out ahead of all of this as ridge of high pressure takes over. Very warm. Now Saturday, we got looking at warm conditions across Pennsylvania, looking for temperatures in the upper 80s with some higher humidity. But then on Sunday, the front comes in, a couple of showers.
They're going to continue to be protected, as they should.
All right, so just found an interesting story actually out of Hawaii about sunscreen and the importance of wearing sunscreen that's safe for the oceans and especially the coral reefs, but imagine the animals as well. So sunscreen with zinc is better than other chemicals for that.
Good to know.
All right, let's
our producer just said it's a good story for Hump Day.
Yes, it is.
Hump
yes,
day.
it is. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Hermine. We are finally saying goodbye to it. The final advisory was issued yesterday. So, you know, there's still a circulation right there, but we are not concerned at all about major impacts. A couple of small impacts, though, this morning. So today will be the last day of it. A couple of things I wanted to point out, though. Isn't it kind of cool how there's this circulation right here, and then there's also this other circulation that we see coming up right here. You know, there was a mid-level low that kind of absorbed the circulation from Hermine. Not that it matters, you know, either way it's weakening and it will be moving out. Right now we've got a couple of showers still out there, mainly offshore, parts of central Connecticut getting a few sprinkles this morning, same thing in central Mass. Otherwise, no big deal. Still watching the beaches. There's still some high surf concerns right here, coastal Rhode Island. You've got that through at least this evening. Winds have really weakened tremendously, especially compared to what we've seen. Nantucket, you might feel like this is not that bad, where we have winds at 14 miles per hour compared to the 20 plus that we had nonstop, it felt like, for days. Still a little breezy out there along the coast, but we will be looking for improvement throughout the day today and certainly by tomorrow and by Friday. So let's track this east as we continue to watch the circulation weaken first and then pull away as we see a front move in towards the northeast. Now, it takes a while for this front to get here, but that is going to be one of the things that helps force this go offshore. Look at this by Thursday, though. Already seeing those winds really relax nicely, and we'll get that surf to calm down, too, by Thursday and Friday, just as temperatures start to heat up. It has been about 2 weeks worth of rip current risk that we've been following for you for various reasons in the northeast. First, it was Gaston, then it was TD8, then, of course, it was Hermine. We still have a moderate risk of rip currents, Virginia Beach and out towards the Outer Banks. Still a high risk on the Jersey Shore and Long Island beaches, and certainly here across the Rhode Island beaches as well. But it will get better by this weekend. Now, let's take a look. We'll track this circulation out and take a look at the chances for rain coming on in. There could be a couple of showers. Again, like yesterday, New York City, don't be surprised if you get a shower, but I wouldn't bother with the umbrella either. Just walk quickly when that rain comes in, Anaridis.
All right. Thanks, Jen.